All right, the long-term care administrator board meeting is convening at 9:02 a.m. on March 7th, 2023 at the Health Licensing Office in Salem, Oregon by telephone conference call. I will now call roll. Maggie Hilty, here. Amy Brown.
She was not going to be attending today.
Oh, just kidding. Kathy Molinich.
Also not attending today.
Okay. Carol Hankins.
Here.
Daniel Weiss.
Present.
And Jennifer Broadbeck.
In attendance.
Members, when you wish to speak, please state your last name for the record. Board members
Excuse
are
me,
asked.
Chair. May I
Right.
interrupt? We have a couple board members, also new board members. We have
Oh,
Dhrasti,
that's fun.
Patel.
They're not on my script, Bob.
My apologies.
That's fine. I don't know their names, so you'll
So
have
we-
to tell me.
So we have Dhrasti Patel,
Dhrasti Patel.
Here.
Okay.
and Joscelyn Cook.
Joscelyn Cook.
Here.
Yes. Okay. Now we're ready to move on, ma'am.
Okay, wonderful. Well, welcome. Members, when you wish to speak, please state your last name for the record. Board members are asked to not use the chat feature during the meeting. Public members wishing to speak must first sign in on the roster sheet available. For public members calling in on the public phone line, please email April Fleming at april.fleming, that's 1M, at dhsoha.state.or.us and provide your first and last name. Public and interested parties' feedback may be heard during the public interested parties' feedback period if indicated on the agenda. Everyone is asked to use appropriate language, manners, and protocols when conducting board business. This meeting is called to order. Now I can't remember what I do next.
I'm sorry.
Well, what do I do next, Bob?
Oh, okay. So on the agenda, we need approval of the agenda, please.
All right. That's all right. I would. Can I please get an approval of the agenda?
We need someone to make a motion.
This is Jennifer Broadbeck. I make a motion to approve the agenda.
Hankins, second.
A motion has been made.
Second.
I'll call roll.
Jimmy Weiss, second.
All right, I'll call roll. Maggie Hilty, yay. Carol Hankins,
Yay.
Samuel Weiss,
Yay.
Jennifer Broadbeck,
Yay.
Dhrasti Patel,
You're muted, Dhrasti.
Yay.
and Joscelyn Cook.
Yay.
The motion has been approved.
Thank you. Next on the agenda, Chair, if I may, is introductions of the new board members. So if Dhrasti can tell the board and HL a little bit about herself. I know you've already done it once this morning, but if you'd please do it again.
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Dhrasti Patel. I've worked in the healthcare industry for the past 10 years. For the past 4 years, I've worked in senior living as an administrator, memory care manager. Currently, I work as an executive director for senior living in Sherwood. And I graduated from Concordia University with my undergrad and Willamette with my MBA.
Thank you very much. Joscelyn?
Yeah, I'm Joscelyn Cook, and I have worked in long-term care for over 20 years. And I am currently a nursing home administrator in Tualatin. And yeah, that's what I do. Thanks.
Welcome, Chair and members of the board. Chair, if you could please go down your role list and then introduce, let each of the board members introduce themselves briefly, and then HLO staff, I'll call them out so we can introduce ourselves.
Sure. I'll start and then I'll just go in order. So I'm Maggie Hilty. I've been on the board now for probably 3 years, it feels like, or maybe 3.5. I currently work for Avamere. I do market strategy. I'm a licensed nursing home administrator. I worked as a licensed nursing home administrator for 6 or 7 years. Still licensed, still fill in every once in a while. Yeah, and happy to have you all here. This is my first meeting as board chair, so bear with me because I'm not used to reading all the fancy scripts. That's why I'll ask Bob for help multiple times throughout the meeting. So yeah. Next here on my list is Carol Hinkins.
Hi, I worked in long-term care in a variety of capacities for many years, either as a social worker or life enrichment director. And then I was a certified ombudsman for 9 years, and I've been on this board now. I just joined this last calendar year.
Sorry, I'm rebooting my computer. I didn't want you guys to have to hear it. Samuel Weiss.
Hi, this is Samuel Weiss. I have been on the board for almost a year now, but I, background-wise, have spent some 19 plus years as a certified long-term care ombudsman for the state of Oregon. I'm currently assigned to a nursing facility and to a assisted living facility. With some limited mobility, I cut back from having 4 different facilities, but I'm looking forward to being able to spend more time on the board activities.
Thanks, Samuel. Jennifer.
Good morning. Welcome, you guys. We were just all in your shoes a few months back. I am Jennifer Broadbeck. I run a small in-home care practice here in the Rogue Valley. I'm also a licensed residential care facility administrator. Been in healthcare about 25 years, predominantly long-term care. A little about me. I'm in Southern Oregon, down here hanging out all by myself. Maggie, by the way, you're doing a great job.
Thank you. Thanks. Okay, and you want to go through the new, we already went through the new people. So that's us. Amy Brown and Catherine couldn't be here today. Bob, over to you.
Hi, thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board. I'm Bob Bothwell. I've been here at HLO for about 11 years. I've been employed by the state for 31 years now. And I've been the interim director almost a year. It'll be a year come May. So I don't know if they'll ever make it permanent, but welcome. And I have your board specialist, Ann Thompson, here. But she's waving. I think everybody, the new folks have met Ann this morning. So we also have on the phone, perhaps Tina Russell, if she's not busy. She's our licensed.
Good morning.
Go ahead, Tina.
Good morning. My name is Tina Russell. I'm the licensing manager. I've been with the Health Licensing Office for 26 years on St. Patty's Day, and have worked in a variety of different positions here. Welcome.
And I see Trampa Shuck just popped up on the screen, so he must be wanting to say something now.
Yeah. Well, I'm Trampa Shuck. I'm the interim regulatory manager at the Health Licensing Office, and I've been with the office for about 15 years in various roles, mostly in regulatory, but a couple of years in stint in policy. So happy to have the new board members and happy to see all the current board members.
And then we have Sarah Hearn. If she's available, I see there she is.
Yes, I'm here.
She's your investigator.
I'm Sarah Hearn. I am the nursing home administrator investigator here at HLO, and I have been in various different positions with the office for going on 9 years.
Thank you, Sarah. And last but not least, I see Heather Fogelsong, if she's available. She's our Assistant Attorney General. Hi, good morning, Heather.
Good morning. Good morning, Bob and everyone. Welcome to the new members. My name is Heather Vogelsong. I'm an attorney with the Oregon Department of Justice and provide assistance to HLO and its boards and programs. Look forward to working with you.
Thank you so much. Thanks, everybody. All right. So, Madam Chair, members of the board, if you don't mind, we can move on to the director's report. I've got some legislative information to share. And so we have House Bill 2665, which is a rate capping bill. And it's tied to another bill, was it 1549? Sorry, 1549. It's been 3,000 bills this year, and we're running back and forth. But it's tied to Senate Bill 1549 that was passed in 22 with requiring temporary staffing agencies to register with HLO. Okay, any questions on that? There is at the legislature on the 15th, there is a committee meeting on 2665 of March 15 on this bill. So if anybody's interested, you can always go to OLIS and pop in and listen to what is being talked about. All right. Any questions on that? Moving on is Long-Term Care Administrators Board Report, financials. So for the new board members, this is the part where I share information that talks about the board's standing as far as number of licensees and finances go. And for the board members that have been around for a while, this may seem old hack, but the license issued to the nursing home administrators, this covers fiscal year 21, 22, and currently in 2023. And in this most recent quarter, 3 of 23, we've issued 6 nursing home administrator licenses. And over the total 3-year span, it's been a total of 117. Residential care administrators, for the same time frame, in quarter 3, we've issued, in quarter 3 of 2023, we've issued 48 licenses. And over the last 3 fiscal years, we've issued a total of 540. License renewed by nursing home administrators, we've had 76, get my math going real quick, in quarter 1 of 2023. And over the last 3 years, we've renewed 815, and it looks like a good majority of them are being renewed online. Moving on to slide 12, if you're following on your computer, licenses by age and gender for the nursing home administrators. It's a relatively up and coming, it appears, profession. And as you can see, in the age 50 to 57, it's outweighed by folks who identify as female. And licensed by age and gender for residential care facilities, residential care administrators. Again, it's a up and coming profession and largely outweighed by those identified as female. Licensing trends for AITs, we currently have 35 in quarter 3 of this fiscal year. Licensing trends for nursing home administrators somewhat fluctuates. It looks big, the peaks and valleys, but it's 336 from 2021 to 345 to this current quarter. Residential care administrators started at about 590 in quarter one of 2021 and currently sit about 816. The financials for the board is sitting very well with the current ending balance of $758,000 roughly, to be exact, $758,804. And below that in the small box, you'll see the shared assessments. Shared assessments is what it costs to operate the board and HLO. And that's been about 0.5%. Currently it's at 1.243%, and that will over time will continuously fluctuate up and down. The small board expenses were at 4.605% and currently stand at 9.9%, almost 10%. And examinations are about 2.8%. And as you can see in that number over the last 3 fiscal years, it's fluctuated from 2.8, 2.6 back to 2.8.
Excuse me, Bob.
Yes.
For the new folks, because I didn't do this, could you explain the strange state fiscal year?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
So for the state of Oregon, we run on a fiscal year that starts July 1 of any given year and runs until June 30 of the following year. Okay. Any questions? Okay, moving on. We'll bring Trampa Shuck back up on the screen here, and he can share his regulatory report.
All right. Hello, everyone. So as you can see, this is the regulatory report for that's basically shows the current state of open, closed complaints that have come in, over the last couple of years. It will currently show the bienniums where we still have cases open, which is those 2 of those strange fiscal years that Bob was just talking about. But as you can see, there are 3 currently still open on this report. So in the 2019 biennium, you can see that over that biennium, we took in 48 complaints, 44 of which are closed. Actually, if you wanted to get down a little bit more in those numbers, you will be looking at 2 of those in executive session today. So really, there are only 2 on there that need a little bit of additional investigation before they can be closed. So I anticipate that happening soon. And then the 2021 biennium, you can see we got 67 complaints that came in, 44 of which are closed, leaving 23. So we still have a little work to do in that biennium. And then the current biennium that we're in, you'd expect to see what you see, but we have actually gotten quite a few complaints in so far. We're at 51. I'm not sure how that would track where we were last time in the 2020 biennium, but looks like we got a little bit left to go on there. So, but we've got 34 of those still open. You can see kind of the breakdown of whether they're nursing home administrator complaints versus residential care administrator complaints versus unlicensed nursing home administrator. Actually, the unlicensed nursing home administrator could also potentially be residential care, just so you know that in that number. So that's kind of a breakdown. Does anybody have any questions about this report or investigations in general?
Madam Chair, members of the board, if you don't mind, Trampus, can you share a little bit about subject matter experts?
Yeah, I actually was kind of thinking about that as well. Thanks for reminding me, Bob. So just recently, we have brought on at least one. We have brought on one subject matter expert for this board. Subject matter experts are basically people in the industry who are licensed in one or both of the, nursing home administrator or residential care administrator licensees that have a certain amount of experience that will help our investigators with the technical aspects and the practice, kind of the more practice standards, boots on the ground experience. Our investigators are professional investigators, but they aren't necessarily licensees or experts in the profession. We have a lot of professions that we regulate, and that just wouldn't be something we'd be able to do. But what we can do is have people in the profession that we hire as subject matter experts, and they're contractors that go over the cases with us, go over some of the technical aspects, and help guide us in those those particular fields. We have one subject matter expert for this group. We put out a notice to get an additional couple of subject matter experts so we have them available. We do have a lot of cases that have come through, and there are some limits on how much any one subject matter can work during the year. We got an overwhelming response, and I'm sorting through those responses and going to set up some meetings to get a couple of additional subject matter experts on board for this board, which will also help move these cases through the process a little bit better. So, anybody have any questions about subject matter experts or anything else about investigations?
Okay, hearing none. Madam Chair, if you would read us into public interested parties feedback, please.
At this time, the Long-Term Care Administrator Board will hear public interested parties feedback. Members of the public, please wait until you have been recognized. Once recognized, please state your name and affiliation to the board for the record.
Good morning on the phone. This is Bob Bothwell with HLO. Is there anybody on the phone that would like to make a public comment to the board?
Bob, this is Nicolette Riley from the Oregon Healthcare Association.
Hi, good morning, Nicolette.
Good morning. I just have a couple quick questions. On the regulatory report where the complainants by type are coming in, under the other category, is it safe to assume that that other category is the agency, so ODHS or APD coming in from surveys? Like, what falls into that category?
Trampus, did you want to respond, please? Or I can.
Yeah, if you would like to, Bob, that's fine. But
so yeah, other as the board saw on the right-hand side of that report, there's a total of 163. And Nicolette, that's true. It could come from anywhere other than a client or anonymous. It could be law enforcement, it could be APD, it could be an employee.
Okay, so it's a pretty broad. Is there, I guess my question to the board is there any interest in seeing that breakdown, and is it possible to get that breakdown? And then my second question is the pass rate for the ALF RCF exam. I'm just curious if there is data around what the pass rate is for that exam.
There probably is. We can, if the board would like, provide that information at the next board meeting. We can.
And that's for long-term care?
Was that for long-term care or residential care?
Residential care. I think it would be good to see it on both sides, but especially RCF, as it's still somewhat of a new exam. And I think I'd just be curious to see what that pass rate is.
Can I?
Sure. I'm going to let Ann pop in here.
Hi, Nicolette. This is Ann.
Hi, Ann.
I have a little bit of information for you on that. It's been a little difficult to present a clear picture because remember with COVID, we had like an abbreviated exam that we put online and then we stopped giving that one and we changed it. So just so that you know, we're happy to bring those rates to you, but it's not going to be the clearest picture because there was a lot of shifting that went on as that got off the ground. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so if we bring that, it's not going to be all pretty. And it's really hard. There's going to be some apple and orange comparisons because we had folks taking it from the beginning with an abbreviated exam, and now it's been more fleshed out. So we're happy to bring that. But again, it's not going to be a real apples to apples comparison.
Okay, I think that's okay because I think we know the explanation behind that, so that's helpful.
Okay, no, it's just good to get it on the record.
Yeah. And then my last question, mostly to the board and to the staff as well, is the intent of continuing to allow people to take this exam remotely, and now that the public health emergency nationally is being lifted, is the board still planning on trying to keep that exam remote?
If I may, currently, yes, having it remote takes a bit of a burden off HLO with the extreme number of licensees that come through the building and other professions that test in the building.
There's another thing too.
Great. Thank you for letting me ask the questions. And Maggie, you're doing a spectacular job.
Oh, thank you. I learned from the best.
She cut herself out, but she said she learned from the best. Is there anybody else? Oh, hold on a sec. Stand by.
I'm sorry, Bob is allowing me to shift in here. Another thing, Nicolette, when the statutes went through with the bill, obviously, and became a statute that created the long-term care board and all the new expectations, one of the statutes requires that the examination, and this is for residential care, ensure that the examinations are easily and frequently accessible to applicants. And that is 678-743-2. And so we felt that maintaining that policy not only took the burden off of the office as far as how many people we can get in a day, we're also trying to fulfill that obligation, and it does save travel time, especially bad weather. I mean, right now we have other boards that are trying to give exams and there's people trying to come over the mountains, and it can be a hardship. So those are kind of some of the thinking behind that offering.
Thanks, Ann.
Great, thank you, Ann.
You're welcome.
Is there anybody else on the phone that would like to give public comment, please? Okay. Hearing none. Board, this is Bob. We can bring up the discussion about the pass rates in, other board business towards the end of our meeting today, if you would like to discuss it further. And so, Madam Chair, members of the board, next item on the agenda is executive session.
The Long-Term Care Administrator Board will now meet in executive session pursuant to ORS 192.6602F and ORS 676.595 for the purpose of considering information exempt from public disclosure at 9:31 a.m. on March 7th, 2023. Representatives from the news media shall be allowed to attend executive session by conference call and will be provided further call-in instructions shortly. The public phone line will be muted for the duration of executive session. Are there any representatives of the news media on the public phone line?
Hearing none.
Recognizing there is no news media in attendance, the public phone line will be muted for the duration of the executive session. We will return to open session before taking any final action or making any final decisions.
All right, the phone is muted.